Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morris. Another beautiful day out here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're on set here, and I got a special guest. It's funny. I had a special guest last week, my wife. That was an amazing conversation. We've been talking about it all week. But this time, I have Sarah Gehrt with me. She actually came through one of our programs about 2.5 years ago. I think we were talking about it before she came on here. And it's interesting, her journey. We became friends on Facebook afterwards. The program she was in that I helped get the vocational program started, they're not even in existence anymore, I don't think. They kind of went under due to corruption and fraudulent billing and everything else. And it's unfortunate, but it's amazing the people that do come out of there. And it's funny, I have another individual still working for me that came out of that program to this day, which is pretty cool. So Sarah, you've had quite the journey. How long were you locked up for?
I did a total of 6 years when it was all said and done.
Okay, gotcha.
Never had been in trouble before. I was sentenced to 7 years. And it was amazing because God showed up because it was a flat time charge. But for some reason, they gave me 85%. So I got out early.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And going in, probably never been in trouble before. There was this, or did you have a troubled past prior to that? Or
Well, I faced addiction from age 5 until 40 when I went to prison. But yeah, so I had a knack for doing things and not getting in trouble until I don't. And when I finally did get in trouble, it was a pretty high level crime. And I'm not even from the state, so I had. What is the saying? Come on probation or come on vacation, leave on probation. Mine was come on vacation, go to Perryville.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. What brought you out here to Arizona originally?
It started with a guy.
It's funny how it works.
I had a relapse, a pretty bad relapse, and got involved with some gnarly people, and some things had happened, and we decided that we were going to go on the run. And I didn't even need to go on the run, but I just drove this guy wherever he needed to go, and we ended up here in Phoenix.
And now you're here to stay, though, right?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
Well, yeah, I've established a pretty good foundation, so I would like to maybe go back to Nebraska if I can to see my grandkids and stuff like that. But I visit them often.
That's good.
Yeah.
So coming through the classes with me, and it's interesting because I have a lot of people that work for me that have been on this podcast. You don't work for me, but you went through the program, the classes with me. What if you could look back in that period? What was some of the takeaways or that stand out in your mind? What did you gain from the workforce skills, the life skills classes that we offered, and how has it helped you in your journey?
Well, I was really mad when I got out. I was mad that things were hard and I didn't understand. I knew I needed to change, but I didn't know how to get there. And so honestly, I felt forced because of the program that I was in to show up to your program. And so I was mad about it at first. And then I met you. And I think the first day I went, you were talking about beast mode and just the mindset that takes. And I was like, oh, they're saying something that I'm interested in. And so it really caught my attention. And then, of course, you're never on time if you're
only on time.
You're only on time if you're 10 minutes late. Yeah. So that's something that I constantly have said. And, just the drive, teaching us to be motivated, teaching us to wake up on time and to grind, to put everything you have into what you're doing and to be successful. Those were the things that I learned and that that stayed with me, obviously with me. Yeah.
No, it's funny. And I'm not trying to plug this, but I am working on another book called Beast Mode. So hopefully I can publish it before the middle of next year and it'll come out, but it's definitely interesting. It is a mindset.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to push out there with men and women going through this that come out of prison, because for the majority of them, some of them have never had a job before. They don't know what it's like to work. They don't know how to be a productive member of society.
Right.
And so trying to give them those tools and how to think and to rewire what's upstairs in our way of thinking. And it doesn't sound like it was too hard for you to get on track.
Well, I had taken part in a program in prison that took care of like the soft skills for work and everything like that. But I hadn't quite changed my mind. I was kind of on like, okay, is it easy money for me? Do I need to go out on the street and make some cash, or do I need to go to work? And it was during that time where I met you guys, and I decided if I wanted to be something different, I had to do something different. And, you always talked about grinding and getting out there and putting everything you have in everything. And I think that once I met you, I think I applied at 60 jobs within that first week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. I was very motivated to get a job because I knew I needed that. And I knew how difficult that was for people with a past. So yeah, that was when I met you and I was like, okay, these guys are doing it, and yeah, and just went with that beast mode.
It's funny because what you're talking about, 98% of my company is all out of prison, off the streets, out of rehabs. Even myself, I have a past, just don't talk about it. It's not necessary. And once you get past that, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And I think in our own minds, we struggle ourselves when you get out of prison or you get out of a situation, you think, who's going to hire me? Where am I going to live? And I think we're our own worst enemy when it comes to that.
Yep.
You were probably your own worst enemy thinking that, and it's easier than you think. If you think everybody's judging you, but they're not, you're the one judging yourself the most, I think, when you're in those situations. And I think that's the first thing that people need to change when they come out of prison or come off the streets,
Right.
is stop judging yourself. Stop thinking everybody else is judging you, because they're not.
I think that's the hardest thing, because we have that narrative in our head that tells us that we're no good, that we've got a label, we've been to prison, we've done these things. We're trying to make up with our family and prove to them that we can do the right things. We know that we have to work. It's so difficult when you look at all the different things, that you have to take care of as far as getting out. And we make it a lot harder for ourselves because of that negative self-talk.
Yeah. When you did all those applications, what was the feedback? What did you find? What was your experience with that?
I did a lot of interviews from those, and I was getting places, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get a job, and then they'd find out about my past, and I was even getting offer letters. I got one from Arizona Family Children and Family something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but they're like, sorry, we can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? You're listed as a second chance employer.
Okay.
What do you mean? And so they just said, oh, we would love to hire you, but we can't. And okay, so I wanted to go through sales and marketing or some kind of project management or something like that, but ultimately I ended up in recovery, which was helpful. I'm BHT.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So after getting out of the program, that's no longer there anymore. We won't say the name of it, but where'd you go after that? What was the next step for you in your journey?
So I really didn't know. I just knew I needed to get out of that program. I had seen some things that I didn't like. And so I went to my sponsor's house and I stayed with my sponsor. And shortly after I got there, I got a phone call saying I got a scholarship to go to Walden University. And I started school, I think maybe 2 weeks after I left there. And started my bachelor's degree. I started school before I actually got a job.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And you graduated?
I did. I graduated this last July.
Nice. That's
with
awesome.
Summa Cum Laude.
Okay.
And I got the award for academic achievement for the bachelor's program.
That is awesome. And I think I saw something on Facebook. You're the first person to come out of prison, and graduate from that. There was something I thought I saw recently. What was it?
Yes. I just did a story for Walden University for their career development.
Okay.
But I was the first recipient for Bridges Reentry's it's a scholarship, a full ride scholarship to go to Walden University. What had happened is my mentor and I were talking. I was having such a hard time finding a school. I only needed 1 credit to graduate when I went into prison.
Okay.
And nobody wanted to give it to me without paying a ton of money. And so we were trying to figure it out. And somehow that ignited a partnership with Walden University. And it was me first. And then another girl, Opaline, we both got those scholarships. She's still in school. She's almost done. But yeah, it was, hey, do you want to go to school? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to give you this degree in communications. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. But okay, let's go.
Sure.
And so it's been an amazing journey with Walden.
Nice.
Yeah. They just came out. They were here for 2 days. They did photo shoots. They did all these things. And honestly, it was all about how to take advantage of their career development services that they offer and certificates that they have. Free certificates you can go online and get, and so I did that story because that was cool. That's how I actually worked with them to get my job at Walden. Okay.
So you currently work for Walden as well. How did that happen? How do you go from being a student to actually working for them? What was that?
God. God and a lot of
apply for it? They ask you.
So I I had done some artwork, and Bridges Reentry was kind of trying to figure out how they could commemorate and recognize this partnership that Walden's got. And so they picked my painting, and they did this whole fair. And while I was at the fair, I did a speech, and then the dean of Walden University came up to me and started talking to me. I didn't even know who he was. He was sitting at my table the whole time. And, I told him, I said, I would love to work for Walden someday. And he said, well, send me your resume. He said, when you graduate. And you could tell he thought that was far off. And I was like, well, I graduate in 2 weeks. He's like, oh, well, send me your resume as soon as possible. And I did. And it was funny because the same time I did that, I had this interview with the career development. So they called me like 10 minutes before my interview. She hurried up and got me ready for the phone interview. I did the phone interview, and then she walked me through every single step until I got hired. It was amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And what do you do for them now? What's?
I am a student success advisor.
Okay.
I have a cohort of 555 students that I talk to. I have to talk to them once every 3 months. And it's really just making sure that if they're facing any challenges or barriers that, we're helping them out, making sure that they're properly registered, that their program is where they need to be, and just kind of helping them. It's amazing.
That's cool. I think we're giving Walden University a big plug here today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's
Walden
amazing.
and Bridges. Yeah.
There you go. No, that's amazing. And since then you've gotten married. Your whole life has changed for the better. Does it seem, and I'm going to go back to the prison part of it. Does it seem like that is so far, so long ago? Or does it seem like it's 100 years ago, or does it still seem like it was just yesterday sometimes? Because you've done so much in just a few years.
I've stayed connected with everything. I remember my roots. I remember what it was like to be in that cell and just wanting to change and wanting to prove to my family that I could do something better. And so it doesn't feel like 100 years away. It feels like yesterday because I stay connected. And the reason I stay connected is because of the women that become behind me and that have gone before me. We have to show each other that we can do it.
That's awesome. And it's funny, I got a girl working in the front office here, Jade. She's been with us for quite a while now. I've actually had her on one of my podcasts. And it was funny because I was in my office and something had popped up on Facebook, and it was about you graduating Walden University and your story. And I go, Jade, come here, look at this. And she goes, oh my God, I know her. And that's how all this started bringing you in. And you just had kind of a reunion with her a few minutes ago before coming in here. And you were locked up with her.
Yeah.
What?
She was my neighbor.
As you've gone through this and you see, and I'm hoping you're seeing other women, not just yourself, not just Jade, but is there a line of success stories that you're seeing out there from women coming out and making it out there? Or is it far and few between? What are you seeing? No,
we are driven. We are driven to change. I actually mentor 4 women now through Televerdi Foundation, and they are all doing successful things. Me and Jade worked MVD together inside, and that's where we got our phone skills too.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we worked together. It was really nice to see her. But I would say that, you do have your stories of people who don't make it.
Sure.
But they're less common than the people that are out there trying to make it. And the people that are trying to make it are starting to stick together and figuring out that we need a tribe of women and we need people in our lives that are going to help us when we need help.
Yeah. One thing I've learned over the last few years, I feel like the vocational programs that we do in the life skills classes actually help level up people for a better percentage of success than not. I don't think it just needs to be all therapy and behavioral health. It needs to be real world, no BS.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I bring to the table with my classes. It's real world, no BS. I'm going to smack you square between the eyes. This is the way it is. And you need to get out there and work. You need to get out there and do something and trying to push people, because you've lived off the system long enough. You've had your rent paid for, your food, your clothing paid for by the state for long enough. Now let's get out there and do it for ourselves. And so you kind of mentioned you were thinking about starting your own little kind of vocational thing. What do you have on the back burner? What's happening with that, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, yeah. So my husband and an amazing friend of his wrote a curriculum for workforce development that is kind of out there. But, one thing that you find is people are having a hard time, women are having a hard time finding employment. And, they're taking jobs that are less than because they don't believe in themselves. And so for me, I got this whole person experience where it was mental health, it was vocational through you, it was, all these things. And that's what works when somebody really truly invests in somebody. And so not quite sure what that looks like. I know that it's going to be resume writing and interviewing and just helping. But we're still kind of looking into that. I think that life skills like you teach,
Yeah.
right? But on a different level a little bit.
And I think for women, it does need to be different.
Yeah.
I've realized that here recently by going back to New Freedom and teaching there. They now have a separate facility for the women that they stay at. They have their classes there, but then the women can also join the trades classes if some so desire. And I think the women that join the trades classes, like the painting and the framing, the flooring, it's a harder type of woman, but then they also need the softer skills for them. And I think what I've seen just in the other New Freedom locations, just 2 minutes from my office here.
Yeah.
And I've been there a couple times as a guest speaker. It's a little bit different. I almost feel like there's no sense of purpose there. They need somebody to come in there and just motivate them and push them. But it can't be the same like I do with the men. It's a little bit different. Men are a little bit harder, I think. But the one concern I have for them is at that facility, it seems like they lose a lot of women quicker over there than the men's facility. And it's due to a man on the outside or a boyfriend on the outside saying, oh, just come with me. I'll take care of you. And I think the biggest thing I try to teach women is stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need a man to make it. You can be a strong, solid, firm woman and do it on your own. And you've done it on your own. You've pushed, and there wasn't a man there helping you, I assume. It was pretty much you and that drive, that grit, that grind, that beast mode. For women out there that are struggling and, they're not as strong as some other women out there like yourself, what would the advice be for them to push themselves or to pick themselves up? If it's a guy, I'm going to tell him, grab yourself by the bootstraps and let's go. But
yeah,
how do you say that to
for a woman? You have to teach them to believe in themselves, right? Because if you think about it, when we're incarcerated, we're dealing with male officers, and those male officers are coming at us and giving all these things, and it kind of makes you a timid person inside because of our past. We've experienced a lot of trauma. We've experienced abusive relationships, the whole crime life and all that, and all the situations we put in we put ourselves in to go find whatever it is that we need. And so when we come out, it's scary. It's very timid, and if you don't have family or anything, or you've just been drugged through, you don't believe in yourself. So you have to learn to believe in yourself and believe that you're absolutely necessary and that it's okay to ask for help and really just slowly integrate. It takes little steps, but the biggest thing is believing in yourself, because I didn't. And I don't know how we do that with women. I don't know how you can take them to that next level of believing in yourself. I mean, I'm sure there's steps and I'm working on that. I can only say for me, it was reset. I think Televerdi taught me how to reset. Don't make any decisions if something goes bad for a week.
Okay.
Just sit on it.
Okay.
And then make your decision. But they built me up. Even you built me up. Taught me to believe in myself and that I could do these things if I put my mind to it. And I think that's the thing is we hold ourselves back because we don't think we can do it. We don't think we're worthy enough.
So what needs to change with them? Just that mindset, or finding the right mentor or the right place?
I think it's the right place, the right kind of program. Honestly, for me, I've been really mad at some of the programs. Like we said, I left one, and I feel like I kind of got taken advantage by them a little bit, and I forgive them and what have you. But I think there needs to be a program for women where they can go in and learn some soft skills and some different trades. We need trades for women. But what are they? Right?
Hospitality.
Hospitality.
There's a lot of things out there.
Project management.
Yes, there's a ton out there. And I'm a firm believer, and I've talked about this on one of my podcasts. I believe women can do anything a man can do.
Absolutely.
As long as they put their mind to it. That's it. It's a mindset. I believe in women in construction. I fully support that. And we've got, I think we're up to 9 or 10 women working for us right now.
Yeah, I was mad at you when I went through your program and you didn't hire me.
Oh, geez. But look at where you're at now.
I was busy. I was doing other things.
Yes, no, and everybody's path, everybody's journey goes a different route, and
Yeah.
it's trust me, if I got a class of 20 people, I want to hire 20 people, but I can't. It just
Right.
doesn't work that way. And my picker's not always correct sometimes. For example, I've got a guy right now that he went through my program 3.5 years ago. He worked for us. He got let go because of a drug situation. And then he went through the program again. He's back there. I'm teaching there. And so I gave him another shot. He's back with us. Well, yesterday he got arrested. He got a DUI and drug paraphernalia. And this is the second time. And after this, there is not a third time.
No.
I'm done. I'm out. I can't help you until you're ready to help yourself. And I think that's the thing that I look at in every single person that we hire. Are they ready to help themselves? Because what we offer as a company, even in the vocational, it's not a handout.
No.
It's a hand up. And you got to be willing to reach up and grab it and be willing to make a change. It's amazing how many people we get in a class, and I see everybody sitting in front of me on day one, and there's some that I can just see a brick wall in front of them. They're like, you can't tell me anything. You're not going to change me. And you just keep showing up every day. You keep teaching. You keep doing the same thing. And slowly, brick by brick, you see it start to fall down.
Yeah.
And that person changed. And I think they're so hardened from their past, from the drugs, from the prison, from anything. And it's very difficult to make that change.
Yeah, well, we thrived in chaos for so long that uncomfortable became comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And now we're out, and you can't tell me nothing. I don't know you. You haven't invested in me. Like, I'm all these things, but when you continue to show up for somebody and you continue to say, try it this way, or you know what, I have a better path. Let's do this instead. And you work on the whole person, slowly that's going to go away. And that's what happened with me. It happened actually. I might have a really good mentor, and I was very nervous. I was very scared to trust this person, and she's a great woman. And I had given my very first speech. It was right around the time I met you, and it was for Raising My Voice Arizona, and I did that speech. And when I was writing that speech, I realized the importance of this woman who had written me for 3 years while I was incarcerated, who was there when I got out, and she had invested in me. And I realized that I could trust her and that I was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing. We don't know that we're safe until you make us feel safe. So we're not going to put our energy into it. There's just that brick wall. But when you break that brick wall open, the whole new person emerges.
Oh, yes.
And you see so much.
We find the best version of you when that happens. It's funny because even in class, I got a guy here recently, and I tell everybody, I want to change the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, how you present yourself. Mm-hmm. And he was a little offended by that. Well, I dress a certain way. You got a problem with it? No, you're not understanding this.
Right.
I'm trying to find the best version of you. That's what we're trying to pull out. That prison version, that bad attitude, it's that wall that's there. That's all we're trying to get rid of.
Yeah. Be
you, but let's find the best version of you. And it sounds like you found the best version of you here recently. So it's a complete change.
Yeah.
Entire life change for you.
It's been a really crazy journey. I mean, it feels like every time I'm turning around, somebody is saying, "Hey, can you come over here and tell your story?" Or "Can you do this?" And I'm just like, "Sure." I just continue to show up because somebody showed up for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I met my husband. I met you. I met my husband at New Life Wellness. He actually worked there.
Okay.
So after the fact, we got together, and we just. I went to school. That's all I did. Is I knew I needed work in school, and I knew it was a better job, and a career. Yeah. Right. And I think I learned part of that from you too. Is like, you got to get a job, and then you move that up, and it's just been amazing. I reached all my goals that I had for when I got off. I got to set some new goals. I'm trying to figure out what those goals are.
So what's the next goal for Sarah? What's next on your list? What do you plan?
I want to buy a house.
Okay.
But before that, I really want to, I want to get into either grant writing because people are going to need that. Mm-hmm. Started working on that. And yeah, I'm just trying to find my niche right now. What do I do with my communications? I'm very happy in my career with what I get to do, but there's something more out there for me.
Okay.
So I got to figure out what that is.
Well, I'll tell you right now, there are a few programs out there in the Valley that could use someone like you. I know Phoenix Oasis would be one. I think the Women's Facility for New Freedom could benefit from you. Just coming in and speaking to the women, if anything, It's not a paid gig, it's just starting off and getting the message out there, but it's so meaningful. I wouldn't trade everything I've done for anything. I love helping people. It's been an amazing journey. It's helped me um, go through some of my own personal issues
Yeah.
because and it was tough for me when I first started teaching at New Freedom, because here I am around men and women coming out of prison, and I have a past that I've buried, and it's been so long that you don't think about it anymore. And you'll go through that too. There's going to come a time where it's like it's such a distant memory, you don't even think about it.
Right, because you come out of prison, you're like, everybody knows I did something wrong.
Yes.
And you think everybody, you were talking about this, you think everybody's looking at you and they're really not. And then eventually, like, I'm starting to make that change. Like, I'm looking at my life and I'm like, huh, okay.
Nobody's judging you.
Yeah, I'm not in prison. Nobody, I don't have to tell anybody I did that time. I can Google myself and there's nothing on there. You can bury it. Just like you said, you can bury it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be, and it does follow us. Of course it's going to follow me, but
Yeah.
I don't have to let it define me anymore.
No, it's what defines you is the person you are today.
Right.
My past doesn't define me. It's who I am today and how I present myself to people today. No one knows I've been locked up. No one knows my history. And they wouldn't even think that meeting me because I don't portray that at all. So it's completely different. I portray myself as a business owner, a guy who teaches classes and has a podcast, helps people out, and that's all it is. That's all they need to know. So no, it's been a good journey for me going through all this, and it's exciting watching your journey, what you've been through over the last few years, and just watching you on Facebook, seeing what you're doing. So
I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh my God, he accepted my friend request, because I really liked what you guys were doing. You were out there. I had this great resume when I left there, which, that did get me my first job.
Nice.
At Destiny Sober Living. That place isn't around anymore. I probably shouldn't have said their name, but
that's okay.
I remembered everything you guys talked about and everything you guys said in those classes, and I used it. I used it when I was on down days where I was telling myself I can't do that. I'd be like, what would John and Greg say? What would they tell me to do right now? And they would tell me to get up and go.
100%.
And I used that, and I remembered it. And even this far, I try to instill that with my kids today too. Got to change your mindset. If you change your mindset, you can change it. The switch goes on and you can do anything. And I didn't believe that until I was kind of on the edge, but when I met you, I really started believing it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
You just took the time to talk to me.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Taking time with somebody. And it's funny. All we have is time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're doing time in prison, and even out here, all we have is time.
Yeah.
We don't know when our life is going to end, or we don't have a date stamped on the bottom of our foot. We don't know when we're going to go. Live it to the best of your ability and treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
Right.
That's how I believe.
Yeah. It's an amazing experience. And I never was like that before.
Yeah.
I was so selfish before I went to prison. I was so just inside myself that I was so against the world. I couldn't say please. I couldn't say thank you. I couldn't say any of those things. Mm-hmm. And so, now today I'm like, oh, let me hold the door for this little old lady, or what can I do next? What can I do to better someone? Where can I go speak? Who can I help?
You found the best version of you.
I did. And
it's only going to get better every day. You'll continue to grow. You'll continue to change. You become a better version of yourself every single day, even more. Mm-hmm. You'll enjoy it.
Well, and I found that learning and educating myself helps. And I did that by looking at some of the prison stats in Arizona and recidivism rates, right? Because I was like, I wonder, like, how does this work? And I actually wrote a speech, and it was based off a thing, but it said in there that you can decrease the amount of, you can increase recidivism rates through education. It was like 32% people were going to benefit from being educated in after prison and actually make it. Where if it wasn't, it was 52% of recidivism rates where women in Arizona were going to go back.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's 22% in the first year that they're going to re-violate or do something. In 3 years, it goes to 35%. In 5 years, it goes to 55%. Well, if we can do something to stop that by educating and investing in somebody, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
They say that, and I really like this new director of prison. What's his name? can't even remember it this morning. I need coffee, but that's my. He's actually bringing starting to bring some of these programs in prison and letting us talk to people, and that's important.
Yeah.
Right. I actually saw Jade at her graduation. I went in there and spoke for her graduation.
Really?
Yeah, it was my first time back in prison, and shared with those women. And that's where what I need to do is share.
It's got to be an exciting reunion to see her walking in here after so many years.
Oh man, we did so much time together.
Yeah.
I think we did 4 years together and worked at motor vehicle division together before she left for Hickman's. And yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin my makeup.
Yeah, she did. I think she did 8.5 is what she did. And then we got another girl working here that did 13, I think. So it's interesting, but it's a game changer once you get out and start doing the right thing. You just got to find the right place.
You know, we got pulled over by the police officers last New Year's, me and my husband, and we just went to the Filiberto's, no wallet, just grabbed some cash, got in the car, didn't even have our insurance card, phones or nothing, and got pulled over, and they pulled us out of the car, and we had our recovery shirts on, and they looked in the car and they're like, "You guys good?" And we're like, "Yeah, we don't have any guns, we don't have anything," and they didn't even run our names, let us go, and we were like, that's so cool. Yeah. That's
it's fun when you don't have to look over your shoulder anymore.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
It's a super good feeling, and you don't run from your past either.
Yeah. So Sarah, as we kind of close up here, what is the one message you want to give women out there that are struggling, that are trying to make a change in their lives, maybe came through just like you did? What would you tell them to motivate them or give them something to uplift them?
I would say believe in yourself and ask for help, because no matter what happens, when you do the next right thing, God's going to show up and he's going to make things happen for you that you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine the way life can be, but you have to start believing in yourself first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you coming on today. This was
so
amazing.
Cool.
It's good to see you again. It's been a while. So even though we see each other on Facebook and see what we're doing, it's always good to see you face to face and catch up.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on here.
Absolutely.
Once again, guys, thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe and stay hungry. Thank you.